Back at it, man. We talking sports, obviously, man. Warm up with Rivalry. Super Bowl Sunday, man. One of the biggest days of the year, one of the biggest days in the sports realm of things, man. But let's kick it off. Before we even get into the picks of the day, before we even get into the nitty gritty of the Super Bowl with the Eagles and the Chiefs, let's talk about this awards, man. The awards have been handed out.
Yeah.
Josh Allen is the fan favorite, man. He walks away with three awards. He walks away with the Art Rooney Sportsmanship Award. He walks away with the Air and Ground Award that's partnered with Jamar Chase, and he walks away with the biggest award that you can give a football guy, the MVP of the National Football League. Um, Many may say that that award should have been handed to someone else. But Josh Allen is the guy. Josh Allen owned the night, man. How did you feel about it? What's your current stance, bro?
Man, I thought it was highway robbery, man. Just to be honest, man. Don't want to seem like we're hating on Josh Allen, man. It was several guys that could have won this award. I'm not gonna say could have won this award, but you know what I'm saying. If they would have won the award, I probably would have been cool with it. We had a bunch of guys this year had excellent years, excellent year. Starting with the guy that I think should have won the MVP and Lamar Jackson. Lamar had not only the best year of his career, but the best year that possibly has ever been in the NFL season. Throwing for 40 plus touchdowns with less than 5 interceptions on the regular season. Now, this is a regular season award. So, having a high percentage, throwing for over 4,000 yards and rushing for another 1,000 yards to add on top of that, with also having a 2,000 yard back behind him, it's just spectacular the numbers that he put up, man. So I thought that was definitely the clear cut winner of the MVP. Who else we could have went with? You could have went with a Saquon Barkley, running back, 2,000 yards. Man, you can literally see the difference he's brought to the Eagles offense this year. And just watching him play, man, he's a special player. And going about him, the next player I would have had after him would be Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow led the league in passing yards. He just didn't have enough, I would say, defensively to help him out, but he had an amazing year, amazing year. After him, you have his receiver. You can have Jamar Chase, who was the Triple Crown winner, another player that was up for it. And after that, it's Josh Allen. So, man, we had five guys that it could have went with. I really believe it was really for Lamar Jackson, but it didn't go that way. It went to a guy that I think, did all he could for his team, honestly. People talk about the lack of resources that he had, which you could argue, they're not the big name guys, but they're still in the NFL, they still can play. So he has had talent around him, and the people voted and they decided to go with Josh Allen.
Yeah, man. Josh Allen had him a night, bro. He had him a night. Like you said, from a sense of resources, the guys around him, he does not have the talent that these other guys that you mentioned have. Um, Jamar Chase has a MVP caliber quarterback that he's partnered with, as well as I would say another damn near number one receiver in T. Higgins that he gets to
Mhm.
play opposite of. When you talk about Lamar, that's more of an argument. I don't think that he has the guys on the outside that those other guys have, but he does have one of the best running backs in the NFL that he gets to play with, and more so lean on a big part of his game, which is the running game. A lot of his explosive plays, a lot of the things that he's able to do, whether it's play action, whether it's being able to create on the ground is in part of Derrick Henry. But Saquon, man, Saquon, bro, the things that he was able to do this year, bro, I would have loved to see him get that award. A running back, I don't know when the last time a running back got that award. Maybe we can look that up. I don't know. But I think he was definitely deserving of that award this year, man. When you talk about the things that he was able to do, in my opinion, um, he was the standalone guy who brought the running back position back to where it needed to be. Yes, you could talk about it, Christian McCaffrey a few years ago. You could talk about Derrick Henry's success, but when you talk about needing a running back to get to the big game, which is exactly where they are and will be playing tonight at 5:30 Central, is a big part of Saquon Barkley. The things that he's been able to do, he is probably the most explosive back that we have seen in a while, man. Um, he's 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 raised the price now. He's raised the price for what running backs will get, what they deserve, and the value that the running back has on an offense right now. You have offensive coordinators who I'm sure are looking for the next Saquon. Um, that's a hard shoe to fill. You've got some guys, but I mean, you got some guys when you talk about Bijan Robinson in Atlanta, very explosive. When you talk about obviously Derrick Henry, Christian McCaffrey, the guys we just mentioned, these are
Jameer
guys that
Gibbs.
Jameer Gibbs, man, these are guys that a lot of offensive coordinators now I think will go back and say, hey, we need one of these type of guys
Mhm.
within our offense if we want to compete. So, man. It went to Josh Allen. Surprised, yes, definitely surprised. But I guess when you say MVP, most valuable player, he's the guy. He's the guy. He doesn't have as much on the outside as you mentioned. He has a Amari Cooper. He has Shakir, which is a very small receiver but reliable. He has what
Keon Coleman,
Keon
second round draft
Coleman,
out of Florida State.
rookie, which, from a production standpoint, didn't give you much this year. Solid receiver, but still a rookie. Still a rookie, didn't give you much. And then you have Mac, which is a role player, man. So MVP, Josh Allen, man,
Yeah,
kudos, like you said, man. No hate. We understand what goes into um, scheming against these defense week in and week out. We watched Josh Allen on a few games, man, and um, he's made plays, especially
yeah,
on the ground, man. I'm surprised at the things he's continued to be able to do on the ground
yeah.
to win these games. So,
Yeah, man.
yeah.
Don't want to take anything away from Josh Allen, man. He had an amazing season, and so well that he was my fantasy quarterback, and I won the whole league. So he had an amazing year. It was just a shock because I felt like Lamar's year was so much further ahead, but not mad at it. We move on and we go to the next season. But he was the first quarterback to win the MVP and not be voted first team All Pro. Lamar Jackson was the first team All Pro quarterback.
And those votes come from where? Educate me a little bit, bro. Educate me a little bit. So the all pro votes, are they player led votes or are these fan votes?
No, they're definitely not fan votes. They're player and like GMs, coaches,
Okay.
etc. Like
Okay.
that kind of personnel.
All right.
Pro
Which
Bowl
says a
is
lot.
more a fan vote.
Mm. Says a lot, man. Says a lot. Man, Josh Allen, again, you had a night, man. But um, people got their rebuttal. People are gonna have various arguments. You have that argument for Saquon. You definitely have it for Lamar. Action Jackson, man. Um, but I think winning that game, bro, winning solves a lot. Winning solves a lot. And
That's the problem. That's the problem. People think that the playoffs had something to do with it, but the award is based off the regular season.
for sure.
In their head to head in the regular season, the Ravens beat the Bills.
But when does the votes close?
It's supposed to close after week 17.
Okay, supposed to. We need to dive into we need to dive into it, man, because I think it's still some moving around going on in the playoffs uh, to make the final verdict of
Hey,
who the MVP of the league is, man.
I agree, man. It's hard. It's hard to make decisions, off of what last been seen. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's gonna think because he won is because he just beat him in the playoffs, and that's what we last remember. You know what I'm saying? So I think he probably had something to do with it, but they said it was closed after that last regular season game.
Hey, man, it's kind of like the presidential votes, man. A lot of folks got a lot to say, man. So, hey, all right, moving on, man. Moving on. A lot of parts, a lot of activity going on in the off season as far as, hey, where is this player gonna land? And it's a lot of big names that's gonna be on the move in the off season. One of the biggest names is Aaron Rodgers, A-Rod. New York Jets have come out and said that A-Rod will not be returning to the Jets. Um, is it over for A-Rod? We had this discussion during the season. Or do we think that A-Rod can find a home? One of the spots we talked about was the Oakland Raiders. Um, and many other teams need a quarterback right now. And A-Rod is still a quarterback that I think can produce. Again, was very disappointed in what the Jets were able to do this year, as far as the weapons he had around him, the running game, the defense that he had around him. But again, came up short. The New York Jets will not be returning A-Rod. What do you think is next, bro?
Man, do I think it's over for A-Rod? No, I don't think it's over for A-Rod, but I think he does have a role transition that he has to get comfortable with. And I think he's now become a bridge quarterback. Like these teams that you named, the Oakland Raiders, I think, that would be a great landing spot for him with having Pete Carroll. Just giving them something to solidify. Will they be able to get Adams back? I think they will. Because he wants to play with him, and they'll get that offseason to get things back going. I think it'll be an excellent move. I still think they try to get a quarterback in the draft. If they can't get the one they want, then get more pieces, because I think A-Rod has at least 1 or 2 more years. And they'll be talking about some more quarterbacks next year. They already talking about Arch Manning, team tanking for Arch Manning or whatnot. So it'll be another guy that come around if they're not able to get the guys that they want this year. Tennessee is also another landing spot. Don't have I don't really know what they need. It feels like everything, but also another team, if they can't get, if they don't believe that the quarterback is in the draft and they want to take, like their GM said, they're going to take the most generational talent, which I believe that is Travis Hunter. Then if you bring in an A-Rod, you're not forced to get that quarterback, and you can build around them ASAP. So is it over for A-Rod? No, it's not over for A-Rod, but his role has definitely transitioned from leading a program to just a bridge quarterback to figure out who's going to be the leader of the future.
Yeah, man. I'm curious. I'm curious to see what it would look like if
Yeah.
A-Rod is able to go to the Oakland Raiders under Chip Kelly. What does that look like? We both know Chip Kelly is known to have, let's say, just a more dynamic quarterback in that spot right there. Curious to see what play calling looks like. Will it be more of you know, um, just your typical offense, stay in the pocket, or will he find ways to get creative with the A-Rod? Again, I feel like A-Rod is more of a coach on the field. Let him run the offense. Obviously you have your installation, you build around the guys that you have, but I think Chip Kelly is the type of coach who wants to have more of his fingerprint on the offense. So curious to see what that would look like. I would love to see him in Tennessee. I think that's a great fit. Obviously, I think that Will Levis is, an athlete, but it would be great for him to learn from a guy like A-Rod for a few years, and continue to develop his game until it's time for him to step back up into the starting role. So, uh, I think that Tennessee has a few weapons on the outside. When you think about Calvin Ridley, when you think about Boyd, um, they've got a tight end who's one of the most athletic tight ends in the league right now. I think they can make some things happen. They need to build on the running back position. They've got Pollard, but they're going to have to continue to build at a few spots. Um, Defense, man, I thought that Tennessee Titans had a solid defense last year, but few guys went down. I think don't they have Bird? What's the safety? Byard. Um, they've got some guys. They've got some guys on the defense where I felt like they would be able to compete, but they went through some injuries this year, man. So, uh, man, I'd be curious to see how things played out if A Rod could get with the Titans. I think they could compete, but again, shit, I thought that that he would be able to make magic happen with the Jets and the weapons that they had, man. So,
Yeah, definitely had the
uh,
talent around them. I don't know what the culture of the Orioles and New York Jets, but it seems to be that nobody can find out the right combination to get things going, even with the talent. So, hopefully Coach Glenn could turn things around, being that he played with a Jet and me and more. Maybe he could turn the culture, flip it around, and get some things going. But he has to get the right people in.
but let's talk. What other landing spots could A Rod go to right now? Because it's a lot of NFL teams that need a quarterback right now. Is it possible that he does not even change stadiums? Is it possible that he even lands with the Giants? Is it possible that he lands with Cleveland Browns? Um, who else needs a quarterback?
Man, those are all interesting. Again, man, I think it's all depending on who who can get what they need. I know it's a little different than the NBA. I think the NBA draft is before free agency, and the NFL is free agency is before the draft. So I kind of feel like it'll be a Kirk Cousins situation here in Atlanta. Atlanta didn't necessarily know they would be able to get a quarterback. Took Kirk, signed him for a long deal, and was able was able to get Michael Penix and solidified that quarterback room, and he wasn't forced to come in and start right now. And those guys who are able to sit that time are going to have success. So, I feel like A-Rod can still sling the football.
For
He just
sure.
find that grit again, man. And, build that timing with those guys. I just believe he still has some ball left in him.
Yeah, I'm with you, bro. Can definitely sling the ball around. I think that again, he's been doing this at the highest level. Who am I to say what he needs to work on, but just that focus. Again, we touched on this a few weeks ago. Man, preparation, focus. I think he needs that edge again. I think he needs that edge again to say, hey, I got to go out here and prove myself in the off season, preparation before the season, and get my guys ready to play as a collective unit. Now, where he lands, that's what I'm continuing to think on, man. So many spots, so many spots where I think he could go, where I think he could impact those teams. But um, we'll
I like
see.
Oakland. I mean, Oakland. I like Vegas. Not gonna lie. Just I like Vegas and bringing a couple veterans and then building a draft around.
It's
Playing
a
with Pete
lot,
Carroll.
yeah, man. But Vegas is far off to me. If I'm A-Rod right now, I think Vegas is uh, more off from a sense of competing than the Titans are right now. I think they're more off from a sense of competing than the Browns are right now. Um, when you think about the guys around him, obviously I know Myles Garrett. He requested a trade. But I think they got more weapons on the outside. I think the Titans have more weapons built around that team than the Raiders do. Unless, like you mentioned, he brings his guy. He brings Devontae Adams back to Vegas with him. I'm sure Devontae hadn't even sold his crib yet in Vegas. He probably still got his crib in Vegas, man, which makes that more appealing to return and create magic. And again, who does not want to play for a legendary coach, Pete Carroll? Pete Carroll will be able to get some guys in the offseason to come in and play.
Absolutely, fully believe that.
All right, man, let's keep it on the West Coast. Another big time receiver, man. Once upon a time, I think the MVP of the Super Bowl, am I wrong? Cooper Kupp.
Mm.
The Rams have informed Cooper Kupp that he is now on the trading block. Puka Nacua has a lot to do with that. Puka Nacua has been a receiver that's come on the scene and taken over, bro. The guy is very dynamic, does not miss a ball, elusive at the receiver position. He wins one-on-one matchups. Him and Matthew Stafford have created the bond that Cooper Kupp and him once had. Um, what do you think about Cooper Kupp now being on the trading block?
And I think it's sad to see how these athletes give all this for these organizations, man, and they just dispose of them. You know what I'm saying? And then
Mm,
fans get mad at these athletes for making the right decisions for themselves. You know what I'm saying?
yep.
Um, Cooper Cup was for a minute all they had. You know what I'm saying? And has been killing. And I haven't been watching them to know if it's been a drop off like that, but I'm sure he has a lot of ball left in him. He's motivated right now. Will be interesting to see where he lands. I know he dealt with some injuries, but another person that I had in fantasy this year, and once he was up, man, he was steady producing. So I know he still has a lot of ball left in him. And will be interesting to see where he lands, man. I've been seeing Pittsburgh. I've been seeing him being traded for Debo Samuel out of the 49ers, which really doesn't make sense to me, but you never know. But it's sad to see, the nature of this business, man. And for you fans or you viewers to really understand what really goes on, man. There's really no loyalty. And but they expect the athletes to be the most loyal. It's really crazy.
Yeah, man. It's that shut up and dribble mentality, man. We know what's going on. The fan base, the organizations do not respect these athletes, and it shows. Not only in the NFL, in the NBA as well. We're not even going to touch on it. Everybody in the U.S. in the world knows about the recent Luca AD trade. Um, Out of nowhere, in the middle of the night. These guys had no idea after what they've been able to give to these organizations. But the athletes for sure do not have leverage at all when you talk about where they land, where they continue to compete at. But Cooper Cup, um, I definitely think he has ball left, man. I watched those guys play a good bit last year, and it's just his target count has went down simply because of the style of offense that I think McVay has right now. He's finding Puka Nacua in quick situations, getting the ball in his hand and letting him kind of create. whether it's screens, um, quick drag routes. Again, if these guys playing zone, they just letting them find the open spot and create. So, um, has Cooper lost a step? Maybe, but again, he's given everything to that organization, man. To see him or to hear that he's now on the trading block, I'm sure it hurts for him, man. I'm sure it
Yeah,
hurts for him, but he will find a home and he will find another team to impact. I think so.
absolutely.
Man, you said that there are talks with him and Debo with the possible trade. Let's talk about that, man. Because when I think about Debo Samuel, when I think about Debo and I'm playing Madden, guess what I do with Debo? I go to roster, I go to edit, and I change his position. And he's a running back for my team. He is not a receiver, in my opinion. When I look at his stature, the guy looks like a running back. Do you think he is a every down wide receiver?
No, he's not an every down route receiver. He's a gadget guy. He's a guy that you just get the ball to. In the same category as a Percy Harvin or
Oh,
not the same speed, but in the same category. Um, another guy, maybe a Kamara. Somebody that you just want to find ways to get these guys the ball because they make plays in space and it's hard for them to tackle. Um,
no, hold on. Those two comparisons. You said Alvin Kamara, you're talking about, right?
mhm.
I think is a running back, but I'm with you. I'm following what you're saying. And the other guy you mentioned was who?
Percy Harvin.
Percy Harvin. Oh my goodness. Man, man, man. I think they're definitely two separate players. You know who I would compare him to? Cordell Patterson, who is now a running back. The things he did in Atlanta, the things he did with the Steelers now, he has found himself in a situation where he's now the third running back.
Cordell Patterson is another guy that goes into that category though.
Okay.
These guys return kicks. These guys can get in the slot. These guys can get
Yep.
at it running back. Like you just find ways to get these guys the ball. Because they're talented and they're hard to tackle. You can't really categorize them as a specific position. I believe they can just line up in this today's game, just give them the ball in space and let them do what they do. It doesn't have to,
Yeah.
it's almost positions like basketball. They play a positionless spot in football.
I agree. I agree, bro. So we'll see. We'll see where Debo ends up. I think that San Fran is I guess happy with Ayuk. Jennings has came along and the way he's produced last year for sure. Um, and then they got a rookie,
But it's just
Pearson.
about money, man. It's about money, money, money. Everybody want to get paid. They paid IU. They got to pay a quarterback. It's just a lot of money going around. They paid the ends, D lineman, left tackle. It's a lot of money, and they claim it's not enough to go around. So somebody has to do something. But in the exit meeting, they was talking about that Debo, asked for a trade, and they gave him permissions to seek a trade. Um, I think it's kind of getting stale to him out there. You know what I'm saying? Constantly we get to him, we're not finishing. Like, okay, maybe feel like, man, maybe I need to, switch it up. I don't know, but he asked them in their exit meeting for a trade, and they gave him permission to seek it.
But if you watch these games, he's not the guy. He's not the go-to for Brock Purdy. If you watching Brock Purdy, man, a lot of his targets are going to Jennings. A lot of his targets are going to the rookie Pearsons, who the kid who got shot, returned, and was able to play some great ball last year. Obviously, you got Kittle, who's also pulling away from those targets as well. And San Fran relies very heavy on the run game, regardless of who is at running back.
That's who's pulling targets away. All those other guys you name, mm, but that's who's pulling the targets away. Uh, McCaffrey, being hurt, but also Debo was hurt a lot this year as well.
For
And they
sure.
also they had about another two or three running backs total that could tote the pill. You know what I'm saying? Is getting the ball away from him. So, you name the rookie, he did okay. Juwan Jennings is definitely solid, but the real guy that's pulling away from him is Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah. Yeah, man, I agree. I agree. All right, man. The last award that we're gonna touch on, um, head coach of the year, coach of the year position, the coach of the year award. It went to the Minnesota Vikings head coach, right, O'Connell.
Yes.
How did you feel about this? I got my thoughts and opinions, but I want to hear what you got to say, bro.
Uh, I felt like, you know what I'm saying, another award that could have, easily went to somebody else and won a trip, but I'm cool with him winning an award. His projected starting quarterback went down in camp. He had us sign Sam Darnold. And Sam Darnold has been a pretty much of a journeyman quarterback. And he had Sam Darnold looking like, what I'm saying, the Sam Darnold that we thought he was going to be coming out. Remember, Sam Darnold was a top 5 draft pick, but just really hadn't panned out. And I spoke on this before. It's all about situations, what you're going to. And you put Sam Darnold into the right situation, man. And he seemed to, look like what we thought he would. And they went 14-2 on the year. He protected him. To be honest, he was a great coach to protect him, because once they got into real action of the playoffs and playing teams that will playoff like games, he kind of got exposed at the quarterback position in Sam Darnold, I feel like. But Sam Darnold still is going to be one of those guys on the free agency block this year that's going to be highly touted. Probably right after A-Rod, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was before, because he's still young.
Yeah, man. One of the guys that I felt like deserved this award was one of your old coaches, man, Dan Quinn.
Mhm.
When you talk about coach of the year, the things that he was able to do, obviously he had the best rookie in the league who got that award, rookie of the year award, in Daniels. But I think that what Washington Commanders was able to do, he deserved to be coach of the year. I mean, they made history. They were, first time that they had won the NFC, and I don't know how long, or went to the NFC Championship since the 90s, right? I think that they deserve to, and Dan Quinn specifically, deserved to get that Coach of the Year award over the Vikings head guy. But um, again, don't know what goes into it. I don't know the thought process. I know this is like you said, an in-season award. I don't even know who had the better record this year, but
Out of
out of the Commanders and the Vikings.
the Vikings, easily they was second seed.
Okay,
Not the second seed. They was fighting. It came down to last week where they're supposed to be the number 1 seed. They played Detroit and lost, so they went to the 5th seed. But they had the best. They had like the second or third best record in the NFC between Detroit
okay.
was in them.
Hey man, that's why we leave it up to the professionals. That's why we leave it to the professionals to make that decision, man. But Dan Quinn, all in all, man, what he did was very respectable for the year. Um, had a great season and great progress with that organization, man.
Yeah, man. Again, like I said, this NFL honors this year, man. These awards, man, they really could have went down, to a lot of different people, and not not and not just the coaches, but the people that they had up was Kevin O'Connell from Minnesota Vikings. You had Dan Campbell from the Lions, what I'm saying, who's totally changed that coach and that program around. Dan Quinn obviously could have won it. And they had Sean Payton up, changing around the Broncos, doing it with a rookie quarterback. So, and you can always throw Andy Reid in there for what they're doing at the Chiefs. So, it could have went 4 ways, man. Honestly, with definitely 3. I definitely could see Dan Campbell winning it at Detroit, and I definitely couldn't see Dan Quinn winning it with the Washington Commanders. So, they decided to go with the Vikings coach and Kevin O'Connell, and I'm cool with that.
All right, man, there it is. Man, let's get into the Super Bowl. Like I said, we're right up under probably 3 to 4 hours right now from kickoff. Um, got the food cooking. I smell the food kind of coming through the house, man. I think we're gonna, you know, just have some game day food, maybe a little rotel going around to hang out. But this matchup, this matchup is a rematch. This matchup is a clash of two of the top tier quarterbacks in the league right now. Um, Obviously, everyone is waiting to see if Mahomes can make history. Everyone is waiting to see if Travis Kelce uh, can be a Super Bowl hero, if he can continue his streak to be one of those guys that Mahomes can rely on. He's kind of been, up and down. I would say inconsistent throughout this year versus years past. But here we are again, man. We are gonna see. Um, Taylor Swift in the building, obviously in New Orleans. The camera will be panning to her often throughout this game. We're going to see some heavy hitters with the Eagles, Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. That defense, can they stop Mahomes? Can Pat Mahomes create magic? Are we going to see the gadget plays? Man, what's about to happen in this ball game, bro?
To be honest, I think it's gonna be a high scoring game. I like both offenses. I like both teams. Honestly, man, you got a team that has championship pedigree, knows what to do in this situation. Not sweating. We've been here before, and we're gonna, do our same routine that was, carried us through before. Then you got another team. I feel like is hungry, man. Got the city behind them. Really want to, redeem themselves for the last time they played. I'm really excited to watch this game, man. Mainly because of 26 in the backfield. He deserves to be on the stage. I've been saying it all year, man. It's just wild to me that what the Giants had, you know what I'm saying? But moving on, I think that this is gonna be a high scoring game. But what I do think that the Eagles need to do to win this game is keep Mahomes off the field. And that's by giving it to 26 and eating up clock. Last time they played, what was that, about 2 years ago? They played
Mm-hmm.
it came down to who had the ball last. And Mahomes ended up having the last, and that's how they win it. But another thing came down to was special team. Kadarius Toney had a punt return. That and I want to say Jalen fumbled
Mm-hmm.
and
Yep.
to the end zone. They scooped and scored or something. So, these games always come down to two or three plays, man. And if you lose a turnover game and then special teams, you lose a special teams game, you're gonna lose. So I believe for Eagles to win this game, they need to keep Mahomes off the field. Even though I believe in their defense, they could get home with four up front. Um, and cover. They got young guys in the secondary, and they also got a veteran in Slay, Slay and Charles Gardner. So you got two vets and three younger guys with Blankenship. Um, man, what's his name? Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper Dean. You got three young guys, so I feel like they got a good mission, and they got Barn right in the middle. So man, I'm really high on the Eagles, man. They pretty much got it at every level. And I really want to go with the Eagles, but I just feel like the NFL is gonna try to get this three-peat going with Patty Mahomes, man.
Man, Roger Goodell said, stop it with these crazy theories, man, that the NFL is for Mahomes. Let's give this guy his credit. Um, Everything is earned, man. Andy Reid, Mahomes, they have earned their way to be in this game, bro. Does he get some favorable calls? Maybe so. Is he just a mastermind? Is he playing chess? I think that's also, a thing. He plays he knows the game very well. Obviously, I think he understands how to get those, late hit calls, favorable calls from these refs. I think that's a part of the game. Same as in the NBA. Everybody remembers a time where uh, James Harden would draw fouls at an insane rate. You know, um, I think that's kind of how Mahomes plays the game. But you talked about it, man. This matchup is crazy, bro. It's the matchup everybody wants to see, man. I'm ready to see it, dog. I want to see what Saquon does. I want to see them give the ball to Saquon 25 plus times. I think they have to win this ball game. You've got to keep the ball away from Mahomes. You cannot allow him um, to be on the field often against this defense. Yeah, you talked about some guys in the secondary who are solid. They play great ball here of late, but um, man, if you give them enough time to scheme up some things, man, with Kelsey, with Worthy, and one guy who I think tonight, man, who could show up and show up big is Hopkins.
Yep.
This is a receiver who um, past few weeks, I think he's probably averaged 3 targets a game, but we know that from a route running standpoint, from a possession receiver standpoint, he can move the sticks. And that worries me going against some of the younger guys. Now, you talked about Gardner, you talked about Slay. Hopefully, that's the matchup that you see if Hopkins is out there,
Yeah, I
It-
won't
espe-
slay on.
especially if it's a one-on-one situation. You won't slay on that guy because I think that he's too smart for some of those younger receivers and could expose. I mean, I'm sorry, younger DBs, younger corners, and could expose them. But man, getting Worthy in space is dangerous. If they can get Worthy in space, man block, that can get dangerous for the Eagles. Get him out on the edge. Um, man, they just got weapons. I'm curious to see what they do with Kareem Hunt. I'm curious to see what Pacheco does, bro. I'm a fan of Pacheco before the injury. I'm curious to see if he gets back into a rhythm where he gets more than 10 rushes a game. I think he can be explosive. Even though the Eagles' run defense is stout, um, I think Pacheco has to play a big part in this ball game. Obviously, they got Kareem Hunt, who has been, you know, what they would say a bruiser as of late, bro. Running good, playing good football, but man, I think Pacheco has to show up. Um, obviously, I think Kelsey needs to get some, 10 plus targets. I think they have is it Dean? N'Kobe Dean. He's out, right? He's
Yeah,
on IR. Um,
they got Bond, Zach Bond in the middle, 53.
Man, can he play with Kelsey? I don't think so. Can those young guys at safety play with Kelsey? I don't think so, man. So it's gonna be some matchups that could get exposed for the Eagles. But again, can they stay on the football field offensively, um, and move the sticks? That's gonna be the key to the game, man. Moving the sticks, and keeping Andy Reid and that bunch off to the sideline, bro.
Yeah, agree, man. But how I would have it is Darius Slay lined up on DeAndre Hopkins. I would have Charleston Gardner over top of Kelsey with Braun underneath. And I would let Worthy and Brown be guarded by Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell. That would just be my lineup with
Oh my
with
goodness.
Blankenship over the top. So uh we go get close to him. We go get close to him and we go switch up every now and then and drop in his zone. That's just what I do. But it's gonna be explosive, man. Both teams got weapons on every level. It's gonna be a mastermind. It's gonna come down who to the coaching and who can keep the other playmakers off the field.
Yeah, and we talk about we're sitting here, we're going back and forth about the Eagles, how they gonna stop the Chiefs. But hey, you got to think the Chiefs are in a situation where what have they been saying for the last 2 weeks, bro? If you're the D coordinator, what are you saying in that defensive staff meeting room with your guys, bro, all week?
They gotta stop Saquon.
You got to stop 26. But
Hmm.
what does that open up? Can you really, can you really keep one guy on AJ Brown? Can you really keep one guy on Devontae Smith outside? You got Goddard. Let's not act like the Eagles ain't got weapons. So, man, both ways. Both ways. I'm curious to see. The key to the match tonight, bro, could be the defensive backs. How do they hold up? Can we prevent explosive plays? Can we tackle well? I think that's the ball game. I think that's what it comes down to.
Just have the better defensive backfield.
Who, the Eagles?
Yeah, the Eagles. The Chiefs have they have Reed and they have what's doing McDuffie. They have McDuffie. They got two, and I like the Eagles setup. I like them better, so I think they get the nod there.
Oh man, hey, who plays better? Who performs better tonight? That's what it's gonna come down to, man. Dang, it's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a good one. I'm rocking out with the Philadelphia Eagles.
Okay.
Obviously, man, I hate to go against Pat Mahomes. Hate to go against Pat Mahomes, but I want to see Jalen Hurts win the title. I want to see Saquon Barkley win the Super Bowl. So I'm gonna rock out with the Philadelphia Eagles to squeak by the Chiefs um, with the defensive effort, as you just mentioned, man. Defensive effort. Let's go 28-24.
Mm, let's do it. Okay. Can rock out with that.
And you rocking with the Eagles also.
Uh, yeah, right here. I'm gonna ride with the Eagles. But if I'm putting my money down, I'm putting it on Andy Reid and them Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, man. A lot of big money coming in on the Eagles. Obviously, that money line scene is very appealing when you see the Eagles as an underdog right now. Um, but if you smart, man, Vegas got something up their sleeve, bro. Something up their sleeve, bro. It's Pat Mahomes, three-peat. Mm, 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 mm.
Believe it. Like Coach say, trust your eyes.
Oh man. And guess what? Your eyes can get you beat playing against the Kansas City Chiefs.
Mhm.
Man, what What trick play you got tonight with the Chiefs? With the Chiefs, something is coming. What this? Hold on. Let's just before I even get into your gadget gadget. This is what I want to see stop if the situation occurs. We get into a situation where we're inside the 10. We get a tight bunch situation where the X receiver motions down. The Eagles are in man defense. They got to sort it out where someone covers the flat. We cannot get out leveraged and let speed beat us back to the flats. I know you know what I'm talking about. I don't know if the people who viewing this show gonna really understand what's going on, but we cannot allow our corners to get out leveraged in a situation where we're inside the 10, inside the 5 for an easy touchdown to the flats. We've seen it happen numerous of times with this Chiefs offense. And it frustrates me every time that these corners, these nickels, these safeties aren't communicating and sorting this thing out, man. So um, I want to see if that play occurs and how do the Eagles handle it.
It's coming. Best believe they go test it out. Andy Reid's go test it out. But if the Eagles run any trick play, I think it will be some off a halfback pass. Just because that's going to be the focus. Um, so that's the one I could see happening easily. Like you said, man, he needs to get 25 plus touches. I think one of those touches could be a halfback pass or some kind of throwback.
What about the Chiefs?
Man, Chiefs always come with some kind of gadgets. Their offense puts me in the mind of Detroit. Some kind of either shoveling or reversing. They always run reverse. They're gonna test it out because that's their run to the edges. You know what I'm saying? Even if you stop it, they're gonna have that in their mind. They got too much speed in the slots with Worthy and Brown. So be prepared for that. A reverse is coming, jet sweeps is coming, all of that. So I don't really know as far as trick play wise, like throwing back the lineman or anything. But I mean, everything's on the table right now.
Well, what I envision tonight from the Chiefs is Worthy throwing a pass. I've been noticing a few weeks they've been setting up this ghost motion where Worthy kind of motions back to the backfield. He's running a little swing motion. I can see them throwing the ball laterally to Worthy and him throwing the ball somewhere. So that's what I'm on the lookout for. I think Worthy will have will be heavily involved today, man. I think the rookie will be heavily involved, um, and I think he will attempt to pass tonight. So yeah, man, let's get ready. Let's get ready to rock out, man, and watch this ball game, bro. Um, any other thoughts you got for the night?
Man, that's it, man. Looking for an exciting game, but the people who not into football and why they watching the Super Bowl, let's talk about it at halftime, man. Kendrick Lamar.
Hey,
Cannot
damn,
forget about Kendrick.
I forgot about that. Oh man, is is the song of the year what many would say? What is it? Not like us, or what's the name? Is it that's what
It
it
will
is?
be performed,
It
not like
will be
us
performed.
performed. So
And is this the Drake diss?
it's a Drake, this for sure. Got them all kind of drinks. So, but
Oh
yeah, man,
man,
he definitely has to perform it, man. He just won Grammys off of it, man. It would be a real letdown for him not to perform it. But I don't think it's gonna be the performance that he puts on that everybody's expecting. Once that song come on, everybody will be able to adapt to it. So I'm itching. I can't wait to watch.
oh man, I don't know. I could do without it. I could do without it, man. I don't want to see, you know what I'm saying, thousands of people calling this man a pedophile. I don't want to see calling, and I don't even know if we can even say that going on YouTube. I don't know. But man, that's rough. That's rough, man. Drake might not even watch the Super Bowl tonight.
Might not watch the halftime, but he watched the Super Bowl. He might be there. It's in New Orleans. He probably hanging
Man,
out with
he,
his
he
Cash Money member,
man,
So I'm sure he's there, man. Where else would
if
he be?
that's the case, he got to pull up on Kendrick backstage, man. He got to find a way to see the guy, man.
Hey, man. It's a
All right,
rap.
man.
It's a rap beat. He lost it. He beat.
Oh,
He lost him. So keep it going. It's all good.
man, I hope Wayne come out. Since we're talking about it, I hope they bring out Lil Wayne. That's why I guess that's why I'll be watching it. I hope that we get an unexpected surprise. How would it be like last year? Was it Usher?
Hmm.
Usher brought out so many people. Uh, the year before was it Dr. Dre?
I think it was. It was the one that was in
Dr.
Cali. It was in Cat. That was the one
Doc,
in
Doc,
Cali. I don't know if that
Dr.
was
Dre,
last. It might have
Dr.
been
Dre
2 years
brought out.
ago.
He brought out, a
Nah,
lot
the
of.
year before that was Rihanna. Then Dr. Dre and them.
Okay, but they allowed him to bring out other artists.
Mhm.
That's what I want to see. I want to see if man he bring out the Hot Boys, bring out Lil Wayne, um, bring
Well,
out
don't
some.
get your hopes up for that. Don't do it. I think Kendrick this to Wayne, so don't expect that.
Mm, mm.
Family
All right,
business.
man. There it is, man. We fit tune in Super Bowl Sunday NFL edition, man. Let's get it.
Let's get it. Let's